All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Dave Greathouse with Remax Above and Beyond and the Greathouse team here in Cleveland. And as we've been talking about, this market continues to cool down. Interest rates continue to go up, but there's some really key data that says that home buyers are actually regaining some of their negotiating power in today's market. So what's it mean for you if you're buying a house today? Let's chat. All right, so the first thing you can expect is that it's still a seller's market. There's just not a lot of houses for sale. So don't expect there to be a ton of houses for sale now just because interest rates have gone up. We're still well below where we need to be in terms of inventory, right? Or the number of houses available for sale. In a balanced market where we have enough buyers and sellers, it's even. You have about 6 months of inventory. We're still about half of that. So there's just not a lot of houses for sale. Now, there's also not as many buyers because of those interest rates. However, keep this in mind. If you find a house that's priced appropriately, it's pretty much move-in ready, nothing needs to be done, you're probably still going to have competition for that house. If you find something that maybe needs a little bit of work, you'll probably have less competition for it. The one key indicator that you want to look for and work with your realtor on is the days on market. The higher that number, the better chance that that seller is going to be willing to negotiate with you on the purchase price of that home. Typically, we use the rule of 14. If it's past 14 days on market, they're probably going to be looking at a potential price decrease and will be more willing to then negotiate with you on your purchase price. So work with your realtor to look at days on market, look at the average comps, see what's out there, and maybe you have some more negotiating power when you're going to make your purchase. All right, so here's another great piece of news for home buyers, and that is the return of home inspections. As you probably know, the last couple of years, a lot of buyers were getting really desperate and were waiving their home inspection as a contingency of their sale. In fact, if you look back at the data over a year ago, only 82% of home purchases actually had a contingency of a home inspection. Look more recently in August of 2022, and now 95% of the home purchases have a home inspection contingency. So this is good news for you as a buyer. You don't have to get desperate. You don't have to skip this all-important step. This is a huge purchase. You want to kind of know what you're getting into. It's also a chance for you to negotiate with that seller on maybe minor repairs or some additional credits towards your closing costs as a result of that inspection. So inspections, once again, are the norm. All right, another great piece of information or things that you might be able to expect if you are purchasing a house now is that we are starting to see the return of seller paid closing costs. Now, in a previous video, we talked a little bit about what closing costs were, but over the last 2 years, honestly, if you were buying a house, you couldn't even ask a seller to help pay for those. It was just too much of a frenzy, and no seller was actually going to offer that. Now we're getting back sort of to the pre-pandemic levels where sellers might have to sweeten the pot. And this goes back to that days on market conversation we were having earlier. If you have a situation where you're the only offer, it's been on the market a little bit longer, you absolutely can ask the seller to help pay for your closing costs. And they could pay for all of it. Some of it depends on the type of loan that you have, but that saves you cash up front. I mean, we just had one recently. We got $6,000 in closing costs credit for a buyer from the seller. That's a big chunk of change for you up front when you're paying for things like moving expenses, maybe furniture and appliances and whatnot. So this is now becoming, I guess, more prevalent. It's still not the norm. In fact, if you look at the numbers last month, 32% of the sales that were reported in August had some sort of seller paid closing costs. That may not seem like a lot, but I can guarantee you over the last couple of years, those are more like 0%. So this is a huge step in the right direction if you're buying a house. Okay, and lastly, you can expect to be a little bit more patient, right? Buying a home is not something that you should rush into, make a decision, hastily. And over the last couple of years, the frenzy has sort of made people do that, right? Maybe rush their decision or make decisions that they weren't so comfortable with. You see a house at noon, you make an offer by 2. Like, it was insane. That seems to me that those days are about over. right? You can take your time a little bit. Granted, there's going to be some cases where there might be multiple offers and you have to get one in, but for the most part, you can be a little bit more patient. Do your research. Talk to your lender about different types of options. Talk to other lenders, right? If you want to shop it around a little bit. Get your finances in order. Be a little bit more patient. Do your research on what houses have sold for. Talk to your agent about days on market. All of these things you can do now to make a more informed decision. So don't rush, be patient, work with your agent, and make the best possible decision. Hey, if you love this video, do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, especially if you're going to be buying or selling in this market that continues to change every single day. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more updates. Hey, all of our information will be in the description box below. You can reach out to any of us directly when you're ready to buy or sell your great house.